Today's episode is going to be all about why I choose to do the Midday Show with J.R. Bjornson. Why would a man talk into a microphone from 2006, because, sometimes we do use the DJI Mic 3. Today I'm back in the studio, so I'm actually using a mic that I've been using since 2006. Is that mic? This mic is 20 years old. But why do I record these episodes? Why do I do the Midday Show with J.R. Bjornson? Let's talk about that in today's episode, along with covering the classic wacky holidays.
Welcome to the Midday Show, hosted by J.R. Bjornson, a stand-up comedian, YouTuber, father of 5 glorious kids. He might be a little blind, but he likes to make you smile. His goal is to help you alleviate some of the daily stress. When you invest time in his podcast, you'll be feeling a little happier. New episodes Monday to Friday, released usually by 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, broadcasting from Central Alberta, Canada. Please welcome J.R. Bjornson.
Yeah! Ladies and gentlemen, it is episode 12. Hopefully you're having a wonderful August 18th. It's Tuesday. Yep, we do this every week. I know, right? As always, before we get into the awesome holidays, I just want to remind you, we are now on YouTube over at youtube.com/Bjornson videos, or you can just go to YouTube and type in BJORNSON videos and subscribe to the channel so you can participate in these lovely conversations that we have here on the podcast. All right, before we get into today's topic, I should probably bring up our calendar, because every time we film an episode, we always cover the weird, the wacky, the funny national days. And right now, it is National Fajita Day. Fajitas were what ranchers ate in Texas, right? They were a Mexican delight. How awesome is that? Have you ever had a fajita? When I think of fajitas, I think of wraps, right? That's what I think. I think of wraps, but I don't think that's a fajita, right? But it is National Fajita Day, and how cool is that? So shout out to Mexicans for National Fajita Day. Coming up, we also have National Ice Cream. Really? National Ice Cream and Pie Day. Oh my goodness, National Ice Cream Pie Day. Are you serious? Wow. Oh, I don't need to talk about this because we know what ice cream pie is, right? Really? National Ice Cream Pie Day? My goodness, these are wacky holidays. Sometimes I don't even go over this before we start the show. I just... Because I simply do one search, right, to figure out what's going on. And then I love keeping it a surprise for me and you. Did you know it's also National Couples Day? Shout out to all the mamas and daddies and non-moms and non-dads who are still in love, because, you don't need to have kids to prove you're in love. But still, it is National Couples Day, and I'm so happy to be in a relationship with my wife for the past 20 years. I'm not in the right screen to add applause noises because I'm in the calendar screen. But hey, that's pretty good. So yeah, I think that's it for now, because we also have Bad Poetry Day. Yeah, everybody has a few bad poems they've written. Celebrate them. Love them. Roses are red, violets are blue. You can see, but I can't. No, I don't know. Don't forget, speaking of being blind, it's Never Give Up Day. That's right, a day to celebrate all your accomplishments and the spirit to just keep moving forward. Anyway, I'm going to go back to my recording screen here and look at my notes here. What is the Midday Show with J.R. Bjornson? It's a chance for you and I to hang out. It is a chance for me to live my dream of being on the radio, without being on the radio. I did live that dream from 2006 to 2012, something like that. or 2007 to 2012. I can't remember. It was so long ago. I worked for a classic rock radio station in Grand Prairie, and it was called 104.7 Free FM. And it was a true fun job because the music was pre-programmed. It was a classic rock radio station. I got to talk about the local goings on in Grand Prairie, And yeah, we were using the internet. We used newspapers. I originally started as an intern covering the going-ons of the local high school, the Grand Prairie Composite High School, the Composite High School. I hosted a little show throughout the music. It was called The Comp Report with J.R. Bjornson. And that was really fun. I had such a good time. And then they gave me a little internship. So the first year I worked for free. The next year they said, we really want to keep you. You know what you're doing. It's fun to have you. And I ended up staying for a while. That was really, really fun. I stayed till about December 21st, 2012. And then I was off to go do other things. And yeah, my life has taken me everywhere. So to do the Midday Show with J.R. Bjornson, it is just to hang out and live the dream of being the broadcaster that I once was, covering the wacky holidays, talking about things that just bring me joy. And these holidays do bring me a lot of joy, but sometimes I read something on the news, sometimes something happened that struck a chord with me, or a conversation like, on another podcast, I talked about how I met someone who was blind and she did not want to try my assistive glasses because she was happy being blind. She's like, I would rather not want to see what's going on. Like, I don't want to know about too much because I'll get overwhelmed. I like being this way. And I talked about that conversation on another different podcast I sometimes do. And I loved that perspective so much. I think I did an episode that was about 20 minutes or so, or even a bit longer. And I realized I wanted to do the Midday Show because I want to keep that logic going, right? I want to stay working in radio, but I don't have a boss and I don't have a radio station. But instead I have a podcast and I have a little studio, a microphone that is, 20-ish years. And I got all types of cool little buttons here. Like I got my favorite reverb, this button, and I get to do all types of cool things. We got all sorts of like applause and just little things like that. So I'm living the dream without worrying about, messing anything up or the classic annoying air checks. Because me and air checks, we got along. But sometimes some of the advice I was giving, I didn't agree with. But, I obviously got to be respectful. You got to try to appease your God, which is usually the person that is, your boss. And here doing the Midday Show, I get to just be myself. I get to have fun. I get to hang out. And it's beautiful. And it's every day. It's Monday to Friday. And you know what? Sometimes it can get a little overwhelming. I haven't missed a single day yet in the 12 episodes we've done. So we've been on the air for, 2 weeks and 2 days. Isn't that crazy? Like, we're doing pretty good. And then I think I have it set up where every 65 episodes, I get to take 2 weeks off. And I want this to be a place where anyone can tune in, or anyone that's, just wants to hang out without being stressed out to feel like there's too much nonsense going on in the world. And then I get to share with you like, hey, did you know yesterday was National Black Cat Day? Fighting the struggles of superstitious cats. And are you superstitious? Like, that's it. Like, the show isn't made to make anyone feel guilty. It's not made to be an overthinker. It's, it allows me to it allows you to let me to do the thinking for us and to just hang out, right? We don't do we don't make anyone feel bad. That's just it. We don't make anyone feel bad. And it's just one guy with a microphone and a dream, And I get to talk about odd things. Like yesterday, my wife and I, on Monday, we were at Walmart. And normally when we're at Walmart, my wife tells me when we're walking together, sometimes I'll follow her because two of us, we take quite a bit amount of space. She randomly stopped, and I was behind her not using my white cane, so, I bumped into her. But she only forgets to tell me to stop if she's hyper-focused on something, usually a pretty good deal. Turns out, corn on the cob was on sale at Walmart for 64 cents per cob. When you buy 8 corn on the cob for a family of 7, that's expensive. This time it was only $5.12, And to somebody else, that's nonsense. But somebody out there relates, being from a low-income household. And, it's just one of those things where at the end of the day, we're just sharing experiences. And, I could set up a camera and you could watch me do the Midday Show live, but then it's like, well, now that's just more work. The Midday Show with J.R. Bjornson is not supposed to feel like work. It's just supposed to be 2 guys, me, you, and a conversation. And actually, a friend of mine reached out recently. A fellow comedian was wondering if I needed a co-host. So we might hear from a gentleman named Viddy Epson in the future, and Viddy might hang out with us for a few episodes. Who knows? I just got to figure out a system where Viddy can call in from home, and I don't mind him coming over to my house, but between you and me, I broadcast from my laundry room. So, I'm just a normal guy trying to do normal things. Just can't see very good. That is it. Well, as always, thank you for listening to the Midday Show with J.R. Bjornson. This is just kind of a reintroduction to what the show is about, where, how we